Yeah, he just killed about, I don't know, like 1,000 of your warriors. Like, who cares? Ah, okay, alright. Well, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, send them over. Again. I know. Again. I don't care. Send them. Ugh, gosh. Hi guys and welcome to Gauge Reviews and to this versus Assassin's Creed Odyssey versus Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So guys, it may be a bit earlier to talk about the two games and to compare them, but I did find out some of the details. They have come out now about Valhalla, so I just wanted to discuss those with you guys, and I wanted to know what you think about the two games and how the newer game is going to improve upon what we had from the last one. First, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we do know, of course, that there's an open world, there's some RPG elements that are very much developed since Origins. They expanded upon them, they added so many elements, and I just love the system because it's simple, it's easy to use and to understand. It's not something super complicated. And there's some character customization in terms of all the armor that the character can wear. We have this awesome open world. We basically have the whole Greece. We have, of course, the naval part of the game. We have a ship, we can upgrade it. We have a crew. We can even put some of the older assassins in our crew and have those, which is pretty awesome. We can pick different horses. I even have my unicorn, or how I like to call him, my unihorse, which, yeah, it's pretty awesome. So we have a lot of things and I just love them. We have good weapons and some pretty cool helmets, armor, and other parts of the character's attire, overall gear. For the most part, so many things are good in Odyssey. Now, what is not good in Odyssey to me is that system where all the mercenaries go and they try to kill you all the time as soon as you start fighting in a fortress, in a fort, as soon as you start to take it down and just you wanna have fun, you have a bounty on your head immediately. It's like everybody has a cell phone tower and everybody are like picking their phones and talking to some kind of a militia, and they're like, hey, here's the assassin here and he is attacking us. Yeah, yeah, I know that it's another time that he's been doing that. Yeah, he's been doing that quite a lot. Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, you go after him. What do you mean this is like the 500th time? Yeah, he just killed about, I don't know, like 1,000 of your warriors. Like, who cares? Ah, okay, alright. Well, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, send them over. Again. I know. Again. I don't care. Send them. Ugh, gosh. Something like that. So every time you're doing the same thing, if you want to attack a fort or just some guys around a fort or whatever, you're gonna be hunted down. And all of those mercenaries, they're pretty hard to kill and often they're gonna overwhelm you. And although I'm pretty badass, if you watch my gameplays, and I am killing 99% of the time everybody, it's still a bit of a bummer. They are basically screwing your missions or your plans sometimes, so I just don't like that aspect. The coolest part of the game, and also the coolest from, well, not the coolest, but one of the good game mechanics that there are, is the hunting and the finding of the cultists, because you don't know really where they are and you just have to do different types of quests in order to uncover them eventually, then to get a piece of Leonidas' spear and thus creating more powers for you with time. And that takes so much grinding and grinding. I don't actually mind that much, but it does take a lot of time and a lot of grinding to get there, especially after you finish the main quest of the game. The next time that you're gonna get all the pieces is not going to be anytime soon. So that is the gist of it, of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. What I like and what I don't like. I also like actually the system with the ego and how the ego serves as well, a drone that you can map your surroundings and know where what is, and that is not always that revealing. It just shows you the most useful things that you need to know without revealing absolutely everything. Like, for instance, if there's a cult somewhere, you will not know that. If there's a leader somewhere, yeah, you'll know that if you can find him, but you will not know all the details, let's say. It's just useful mostly to mark enemies and to map where there are chests or other stones that you pick up for upgrade of your ship, and well, such things basically, and like supplies that you're supposed to burn. Now in the new game, what I found out so far is that, yeah, it's going to be again open world. You're going to have female character, female Viking, male Viking. Now if they're going to be brother or sister like Odyssey, I have no idea, but nevertheless it's interesting. Now this time the difference is that you're going to be able to change the hair and the beard of your Viking, in case you pick the male version, of course. I'm probably gonna pick the male version just because I like to play with male characters most of the times. Not that I don't want to make my own Xena game, but I just still prefer to play with male characters a lot of the times. When I have the choice, I want to play with the female character, but somehow, some way, I always gravitate towards to play the male character because I just want to see a male character on the screen. I mean, in such a way, some guys just play the female characters because they prefer to see a female on the screen. Simple as that. I suppose that we are going to have more gear to choose from, much more weapons to choose from, and it's going to be a lot cooler. At least that is how I imagined it. The naval battles are not going to be with, so many options, of course, because we only have bows and spears probably, which I don't mind. I don't really care. As far as I've read, the boats are going to be just a way to get around, which is perfectly fine to me. You're also going to be having settlements this time around. We did had something similar in Assassin's Creed 3, but it was very underdeveloped. But this time you're going to have a village and you're going to be able to upgrade that village, build it up, and make it your home. I'm not sure about all the details that this could include, but we'll see. I know that there's gonna be a lot of mini games that you can play to win different things if you like, something like Gwent, for instance, like The Witcher has this. I don't like mini games per se or Gwent. I just like to be immersed in the world, but not in that way that I'm gonna be role playing to that micro extent. I just like to be in the world and doing active things with my character, not really sitting down and playing mini games. But that's just me. I mean, variety in a game is a good thing to have, so whatever they like to do with that, I have nothing against that. I'm just not gonna use it as much maybe as other players. We're going to have a vast open world this time. Now, is it going to be as big as Odyssey? I suppose that is going to be at least up to par with it. I understand also that there's going to be some different lands that they are not revealing so far, and how the gods are going to be incorporated, but is one of the most important things. Like we discussed in my last video and stream, we all prefer to have the gods in the game, especially there's gonna be, I mean, the game is going to be just perfect if we can have all the gods, or at least most the main gods like Odin and Thor, Loki, and they're big and they're massive and we can interact with them, talk to them, even kill them. I don't know, that's not gonna happen pretty much, but this game is described as the ultimate Viking fantasy. So having the gods is going to be something like, well, maybe I saw that, maybe I didn't see that, in the same way that they did show it in the trailer. Like we saw Odin for a brief sec, some of the warriors, or we as the main character are going to maybe see one of the gods just here and there, or think that we saw them or something like that, because Norse mythology is so strong and so well integrated in their world that we have to see something. At least if they can do it in the way that it was done in the show Vikings, here and there a mystery to it, that's also fine. But I just like to see a full-on god. But yeah, I doubt that that's gonna happen exactly that. But yeah, so Odyssey versus this game, the gods in Odyssey not really present. Maybe in Atlantis DLC, but I have not played that, so I can't really say. Maybe they're going to do something similar like they did in Origins as well, where they did show something like in Origins. I think that they had Anubis, some kind of event with Anubis. So if they can do something like that, outside of the game where it's optional if you want to cross that line of realism and go and fight a god or something like that. But I will be kind of upset that it's not a part of the main game. Again, that's just me. I would prefer if everything is in the game, but you know how they are with DLCs. They have to leave something else so they can put it in the DLC and just sell us to it once again. So that is another topic on its own. But how big of a part will that be in the game? We'll see, guys. The other thing is that you'll be able to recruit Vikings to fight with you, to send them on some missions or something like that. That has been something from the previous games like Unity. I'm not sure how it's going to be here, but I don't really care about that. I always care about my character and what he is doing and just and going somewhere and just fighting. But we are going to have a bigger battles and a raid. And now, guys, this is very crucial thing. If we have bigger battles, we had something similar, yeah, in Odyssey, where you just go on those battles on the map and you participate in like a shore battle, you know, close to the shore, somewhere in the forest, and there are some big captains that you have to overcome to win the battle faster. Those are cool, but I would prefer to see something a bit more realistic where you don't really have to get to a particular bigger guy. But if you saw the trailer, of course, that you saw the trailer, that bigger guy at the end is probably what this is going to be, the equivalent, and maybe a bit better, but still, this looks like it's going to be the equivalent from Odyssey to Valhalla. So yeah, I'm not that thrilled. I mean, I like it, but I really prefer if there's something more realistic about that aspect and not just, okay, here's the bigger guy. If you get him, you're going to have like an advantage and more points for you. So when you see the bars of the two armies, your army is going to have more numbers, so therefore it's going to be closer to the win. But once again, we'll see how that goes and how they improved upon that. I'm sure that they did in some way. But since Assassin's Creed 3, when we saw that cinematic trailer, how they promised that we are going to enter a battle, I always dreamed about something like that. But once again, we kind of got it with Odyssey, but I wish that we can now really get it in third person. I mean, something that's not strategy, full on, just a better version of that with Valhalla. I just pray to God that's one of my biggest dreams, to be just a part of a bigger battle and bigger than what we got in Odyssey. There has to be more variety in terms of weapons and armor. I know that you're going to be able to wield a shield finally, which was like a huge missed opportunity, I should say. Because to hold a shield and sword, that's one of the best feelings in the game. It's still something that it could be done more of in games. It's still something that could be improved upon. So I'm always looking forward to this game mechanic. It's just the epitome of being a warrior. You just feel that it's so awesome. So you're going to be able to hold two shields, even as far as I've read, two weapons in the same time as well. So dual wielding is going to be possible for shields and swords and other weapons, I think, access also. So that is just amazing. I can't wait for that, guys. I'm just holding my breath here because this game cannot get here soon enough. I'm telling you, it looks unbelievable. And the next thing that is different from the other games is the fact that the hidden blade is not under the arm, but rather it's on top of the arm. And the explanation was that if this weapon is so cool, why hide it from the enemies or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the official statement, but that once again is what I learned. Well, yeah, Vikings kind of like to brag with their strength and might overall, so doing that is pretty damn cool. Although it is a hidden blade still, I mean, although it's on the top of the arm like Batman or something, it's still, it's visible. I mean, if you look at it, they're probably not gonna look at it. So he's still hiding it. It's still not that obvious. In the heat of battle, nobody's gonna see that just being here. And how is he even going to launch that and just to make it come out? I have no idea. But but it's pretty damn awesome. I personally love the idea. I don't mind it to just, put it here. Vikings have their own ways of doing things. That is what makes them unique. They're rebellious, they're strong, they're nuts in a good way. I mean, we're also going to have this berserker mode. Vikings are known to get into that berserker state, something like a trance state, where they just fight like crazy, and they don't care who they're run over or what they're doing. They're just slashing and dashing through everybody. And it's a great idea also for the characters, because that's an amazing opportunity for them to make this as a power within the game and to use it. I just can't wait to see the skill tree, and we did have something like that in Odyssey as well. So I'm all up for such powers that are going to make the characters so powerful and so badass. So guys, there's so many things that could be said between the two games, but I do think that from the previous gaming, from Odyssey, they're going to bring back and improve upon the map and the scale of it. The character customization totally is going to be improved. That's 100%. Now we are going to have the dual wielding with the shield and with the two shields. That's a major improvement. We're going to have a better main villain, where in Odyssey, yeah, we did have one, but you know how the story went if you play the game. So I I don't have one critical, enemy that I remember. It's just, how it went. The choices and the quest system is going to be deeper, and the choices are going to reflect more throughout the whole game story, as far as I know. So quest principles and just the quest, how it's structured, the quest choices are going to be more advanced and more sophisticated. Hopefully not too many long lines that are gonna bore me to death or anything. I mean, in Odyssey it was a perfect balance of story, dialogue, and the choices. So I love that. It wasn't too on the nose, it wasn't like too little. It was just right. So we'll see how that improves. We're going to be riding horses. We're going to maybe customize the horse, because in Odyssey we don't really have that. I don't remember having that at all in Odyssey. I have to open the game again, but I don't remember any customization with the horse at all. And maybe we're going to have a bear, a different animal that we're going to be able to bring with us, the same way that some of the mercenaries in Odyssey brought with them animals. I was fighting with some of those mercenaries that overwhelmed me, and they became too many. I was at the fortress, one of the fortresses. I mean, one of those guys brought a bear with him, so a bear was on top of the fortress killing me. And that is hilarious. Okay, moving on. And finally, the story is going to be more historically orientated, maybe more historically accurate. We do have Alfred, the King of Wessex, which, if you have seen Vikings, the history show, or read a bit of a history, you will know that he's a pretty big deal. And this part where the Vikings went to England and invaded England, it's a pretty big chunk of history, pretty significant in terms of its importance for the Vikings, for England. So that is pretty awesome time. And unlike what happened in Odyssey, this, I think, it's a bit more compelling in terms of the story narrative. So we'll see how that goes, guys. So that is my video. That is what I think about the two games, and what could be the differences, and what are definitely the differences one versus the other. I just love Odyssey. It's an awesome game. It improved so much upon Origin, which I also love, but it did improve a lot. And now we have this amazing looking game, at least by its cinematics, and we all know that Ubisoft makes the best cinematics. And I am just floored by the cinematic trailer, and I'm so thrilled and so excited for the game. And next week we're going to have a gameplay presentation on the 7th of May, so I'm looking forward to that, guys. I'm going to cover that. I hope that you can be with me when I do that, so we can enjoy this awesome details and gameplay, whatever they're gonna show us together. Also some Xbox stuff and games that I'm also excited to see, because they're probably going to be on PC anyway, and I'm gonna check them out. So we have a lot to look forward to next week, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I really want to thank my awesome Patreons. I really want to thank my awesome supporters at OnlyFans. Thank you very much to all the guys, you know who you are, that support me on OnlyFans. And if some of you guys like to do the same, you can always check the links down below. Really like to see what you guys are saying in the comments, so share your thoughts, let's discuss. This is exciting time in gaming, at least for me. I'm such a fan, and one of the most thrilling games for me and franchises. Second favorite, in fact, is Assassin's Creed, so I can't wait. I want to hear you guys. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. Until next time with me, Gary G Reviews. Bye, guys.